Hey guys, it's Mia here, and welcome back once again to another reading stream. I thought this would be fun to do because I like reading, so it's always going to be a part of my channel. And sometimes I just want to chillax, calm down, and just chill with you guys. I am reading the second book in the Crescent City. Supposedly, it was supposed to be a trilogy, but supposedly she has another book coming out. I'm reading the second book. I'm a decent chunk of the way in, and yes, I purposely made my bookmark match my book this time. Don't ask me why. And yes, I'm a Ravenclaw in the Harry Potter houses. I took the official Pottermore test thing, but it's whatever. Also, if my setup looks a little different, that's because it is. I got a new desk. Let me show you. I got a new desk. Hi. It's nice. But yeah, now you see that I'm being honest about my camera being on a candlestick as a tripod. But my brother's awesome. When my camera cord no longer fit to be able to account for this desk, he was like, I can get you a 10-foot one, no problem. Like, he's been the most supportive person when it comes to my YouTube. He's the best younger brother anybody could ask for. But yeah, I got a new setup, and so my secondary monitor is this one, and my primary monitor's over here. I kind of like it, but with such a long time of my primary monitor being over here, and now it's here, it's going to take some getting used to, so I am still working out some things. But I figured you guys don't have to read the same book as me. If you want to, you can chill out and read whatever book you want to. If I do have things to say about this book as we go, just know that there will be spoilers for Crescent City because this is book 2. I'm enjoying this series so far. I just haven't had a lot of time to sit down and read because life's been a little busy, which is fine. It's not busy in a bad way or anything, just busy. So getting to sit down and do these is a lot of fun. But you guys can sit back, have a snack, read whatever book you're going to read, or do whatever you need to do, whether that's study, do homework. We're just going to have a chill time and relax. I'm going to be playing rain sounds in the background of this, so if that helps you out, then feel free to listen, or if you want to put on your own music, that's fine too. But I figured we'd chill and read today, because this is a hunk of a book, and I really want to read it. Honestly, I hope that the 4th book doesn't come out, because when it was originally said this book was going to be a trilogy, so I certainly hope that it sticks with a trilogy, because if you want my honest opinion, I don't think that a fantasy story needs to be 4, 5, 6, 7 books to be good. Sometimes it doesn't even need to be 2 books to be very good. I mean, look at One Dark Window duology. That's a good series, and it's only 2 books. But with that being said, I'm going to shut up now, and let's enjoy some reading and rain sounds. Okay, I lied. One more thing. I did change the color of my background to reflect the color of the book. But I did paint that background myself and turn it into a GIF myself, so that's actually my original art. Which is okay. No, enjoy the rain sounds. can read along in your own books. I was going to talk a little bit about chapter 1 because I'm almost there. On chapter 14. But I forgot to tell you. In this book, it turns out we find out Danica, Bryce's friend, had a lot more secrets than she had kept in book 1. Because now we start out this book with a girl being chased out of like a prison camp because she supposedly went there to save her younger brother or older brother, I'm not sure which. But apparently she's a human with Fey abilities, and she's known as something called a Thunderbird, which it's a surprise that she's even alive in the first place because they're a human with the powers of a Fey. They are dangerous, especially if they joined the Rebel Alliance, because if you remember from if you've read the first book or remember me talking about it, the Fae took over the human world and kind of made it their own. So for a human to have the abilities of a Fae, it's very dangerous for the Fae if they are to align with the rebels, because then the rebels have an edge they wouldn't otherwise have. So we see um, Sophie and her brother Emil kind of running from their lives from the prison camp he was trapped in. I don't know if she has the ability over electricity, which is kind of similar to Hunt's power, which is the male lead in this book, but we see in this book that Bryce finds out this information and is like, well, should we get involved with this because there are innocent people that are in trouble, and these kids are going to get wiped off the map just because of something they have no control over. The Fae have no proof that they'll join the rebels. The Fae have no reason to go after them other than they're humans with these abilities. So that's Bryce's dilemma right now, because of events in the first book, her and Hunt were told that they better lay low or everyone that they care about is going to be killed, which would mean them too after everybody else is dead, because of Hunt and Bryce both killing an archangel in Micah, and I can never remember the one Hunt killed, but it's the one that enslaved him. It's some long fantasy name. But because they each single-handedly killed a different archangel, the angels are like, yo, if you don't lay low, we're all gonna come for you and we're all gonna kill you and everyone you love. Ending with you. So after Bryce finds out this information, that Danica once again had more secrets than she let on, which was why she was killed for more than just interfering with finding the horn. Bryce is like, we gotta do something. I can't just sit by while these kids are hunted like cattle and killed. We have to take charge and do something. And Hunt is like, we are under surveillance right now, and do you realize that what they're threatening us with, it's not just our lives they're threatening to take, it's everyone's we care about. Also, if you're wondering what this white stuff is on my shirt, I dropped toothpaste on my shirt this morning. So that's fun. I hope it comes out. It's on this side. Everything's backwards in my camera, so I point to this side and it's there, and point to this side and it's not. But so that's where we're at. Currently, she's talking to one of the other characters who supposedly knew Danica better and was like, I need answers because I keep running into more and more questions about someone I'm supposed to know, and it turns out the more I find out, the more questions I have about her. Like, did I even really know Danica at this point? And on Hunt's side of things, he is still part of the, like, Fallen Angel Alliance or the 33rd group, but I don't think he's like a mercenary anymore because he really didn't like the idea of killing. I don't know what he does specifically. He doesn't really like to talk about it, but it's going to be interesting to find out how they are able to help Sophie and her brother because the angels are keeping tabs on them and they do have the power to kill them both and everyone they love in the process. So, is it going to be Bryce saying, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to do this anyway? I have this super powerful Fey magic now, and no one's going to stop me. Or are the angels at this point going to be a challenge because she was able to take down an archangel single handedly when she was not immortal? But now she is immortal, and not only is she immortal, but she has all these extra powers on top of it. So much so that it pisses off her biological father, the king of the like Fey world in her area. So it's an interesting dynamic. I don't know how her powers are going to do much though because it's mainly just light. It's just light. So we'll see. And I'm starting to find more and more that I both don't like and like Danica. Because Danica is the whole driving force behind all these books. And she's not even here. She was deader than a doornail, like 10 chapters into book 1. And these are beefy books. So, at this point I'm wondering if Danica's even dead. I don't like it wouldn't surprise me if in either the end of this book or the start of the first book Danica's like, "Sup?" No, that's a joke mainly because she did show up to help Bryce make the jump into immortality because she was able to escape the gates with the help of her wolf pack. I don't know, Fey magic is confusing. You'd have to read it to understand. But that's where we're at. Bryce is currently in the dilemma of how do I help these people without getting everyone else I love killed in the process. And Hunt, even though he loves Bryce, doesn't seem to be on her side when it comes to going against the angels because he's been through thousands of years of torture at the angels' hands for his first rebellion, where he and his coalition kind of killed multiple angels. So he's not very set on doing that again and being stuck in another torture hell and another let me be your mercenary so I can get out of this. So it's interesting to say the least because you got the kickback from Hunt, and then I don't even know where they're gonna go with Sophie. Like, how does someone born human have powers so significant that even the Fae want to wipe them off the face of the planet? And that's kind of where we're at. But we'll see. It's good so far. I'm like 160 pages in, and it's 806 pages, I believe. 806. Is it? Hold on. No, it's 801. So it's not that much longer than the first book because the first book was only 799 pages. But what are you guys reading, or have you read any of Sarah J. Maas's books? I've read A Court of Thorns and Roses was how I was introduced to her writing, And then I started, is it Assassin's Blade? And I cut that series off when the books went from, oh, she's just a badass assassin to, oh, let's make her a fake queen again. It was so much more interesting when she was just a badass assassin. No powers to be had. No powers to be had. Although I didn't like that she went with the guard instead of like the Princey boy. I thought the Princey boy and her dynamic were kind of cute, but then she went and banged the guard. So I was like, okay. So there were two reasons my enjoyment was docked of that series, and I kind of cut it off after it got ridiculous, and she literally started talking to doorknobs. I'm not joking. There was a talking doorknob that was giving her advice, and I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But so far, this series is a lot of fun, and it seems more grown up than A Court of Thorns and Roses or Assassin's Blade was, because um, it's kind of like a murder mystery, and it's darker toned, and there's a lot more cussing. Like, I think Sarah J. Maas likes the F word because there says fuck a lot in this for no reason. Just to throw a fuck into the sentence, I guess. But, or just to prove that it's a more adult version of her stories, where I think her other ones were classified as young adult. So if you like murder mysteries and mysteries, this one would probably be more up your alley than her previous series. It's up in the air whether this is going to be a multi-series, but it was supposed to originally be a trilogy, and I might not continue after the Serpent one, because I have all three, and I don't know when the fourth one's coming out. And if it's meant to be a trilogy, I would rather read it as a trilogy. I don't like when authors have a set series, a set number of books for years, and then years down the line, they're like, oh, actually, here's this next book in the series. It's like, no, 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 no. You said we were done. Make a separate series. Make a different series. Kind of like with The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games is done and over, but um, Suzanne Collins kind of came back with like the prequels, with what happened to Haymitch and how Snow got to be such a sadistic asshole. Like, I haven't read Snow's story yet. The movie kind of ruined the book for me, so I'm trying to give myself time to get over the fact that I didn't like the movie at all, because I do know that oftentimes the books are better than the movies. So it just depends, but for now I'm giving myself a gap, because I did not like the movie at all. I thought it was kind of dumb and focused too much on the behind the scenes of the games. Like, I don't care about the behind the scenes of the game. I don't want to be sympathetic to the people running those sadistic games, and I will give the movie this point. They did not make Snow sympathetic whatsoever, which I feel like is what is happening to a lot of movie series nowadays, is people are trying too hard to give the villains of the stories a sympathetic backstory. So you're like, oh, they're a villain, but here's why they're a villain. And I'm like, stop. Stop, stop, stop. I didn't ask. Like, we didn't need Scars from the Lion's King backstory. Let a villain just be a villain because they're a shitty person, because they're a jerk, because they're an asshole, because they're evil. It is okay for a character to just be evil because they are evil. I didn't ask about their backstory. You know why I didn't ask? Or a lot of people didn't ask? Because they're a good villain without knowing the backstory. Scar is a great villain. We did not need a whole movie to tell us how he got to be that way. If anything, it just ruins him as a villain. Where did we go wrong in movies where villains cannot be just villains anymore? There's nothing wrong with that in stories. Let villains just be because they are evil. you know? But that's one thing that they didn't do to Snow. He was a jerk simply because he was selfish and power hungry and wanted to get to the top. And that's fine. That's great. They didn't try to redeem him. He's an asshole through and through. And that's the part that made it fun. But in terms of like the overall movie, I didn't like it. I went on a whole tangent there because I'm tired of villains getting sympathetic backstories because you're like, ooh, ooh, woe is me. I'm an asshole because someone was an asshole to me. And that's supposed to make me feel sorry for you? Like, get the fuck over yourself. Fight through it and come out of it a better person. You would think you'd want people to be, you would think you'd want to be better than the people that hurt you, not just as bad or worse. Get over yourself. Wait, let's get back to reading. Me personally, I don't think Bryce and Hunt going after Sophie is a good idea unless they can get around the fact that the angels are in fact watching them, which they're the main characters of a book. They're probably going to find the way around the angels watching them, no problem. But if they screw this up, everyone they care about is going to die. Hunt's going to have a one-way ticket back to being the angel's slave. And they just might torture Bryce for eternity. So, to say this is risky is putting it lightly. But Bryce thinks now that Sophie may have answers to Danica. At this point, Bryce already has the horn. Already knows she's like the special Starburn Fae or whatever. It's so cheesy. She has like power over light, which I'm guessing she's going to use to defeat the darkness. But she already knows all this stuff. And to that point, Danica is dead. Danica's dead. So anything she knew or doesn't know is irrelevant. Why we keep hinging it on Danica now is beyond me. Because Danica seems to be tied into everything, yet she's not alive to talk about any of it. So that leaves Bryce and everyone she lets into the circle to play catch up. And she knows Sophie exists. She has Sophie's, like, at least, like, handle she goes by online. So the best bet would be to get a hold of her. Because clearly the angels didn't get wind of the emails somehow. So there's a workaround to how much they can see. But all of this being hinged on Danica is getting a bit old. It's like, she's dead, guys. You already found out multiple things you need to know. So we'll see how it goes. I'm on chapter 14. I don't understand why Hunt is still working for the Angels. Because he's free now, he's no longer a slave. But he's like, oh, I need the money. So you'd rather keep working for the people that enslaved you, or are you trying to pull an inside job and trying to pull it over the people reading heads? Because I already talked about the fact that he's a free person now. Because he became a fallen angel after he helped the rebellion against the angels because they were being cruel to the humans of the land. And now Hunt's like, yeah, even though I'm free, let me still work for these people. When they clearly enslaved me, excuse me, and so many others. And to that end, Bryce is being, I don't want to say stalked, but there's this snobby, holier than thou prince that came into the occasion. Something with a C. I don't care to remember his name. Cassius or something like that. It's something with a C, but he's this snooty prince of another land that her biological father had set up for her to marry because keeping the bloodline strong. He's a strong fae, she's a strong fae princess. Why not marry them? Honestly, I think her father just wanted to spit in her face that because of these marriage contracts, she couldn't be with Hunt. So not only do they have the angels to contend with, but they also have this whole marriage thing, which I guarantee Hunt is either gonna kill this dude or Bryce is gonna spit right in this snappy prince's face. Be like, look, I like him. I don't like you. I don't know you. I don't care what my father wants. I've never cared what my father wanted. He's been absent from my life and treated me like lesser than garbage. I don't need my biological father to do anything for me marriage wise. But now, Hunt, with Bryce having that snobby Prince Cassius or whatever his name is, Cassian or however you say it, something with a C. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, coming into the picture. Hunt now has an annoying fallen angel that he has to like team up with while he works at the barracks, and his name is Braxian? Braxian. Braxian. So now they both have people in their lives that they can't stand, and that might be part of their punishment for stuff that happened in the previous book. I think someone's intentionally trying to screw with them because of the fact that they did manage to kill two different angels. But there was even a part not too long ago I was reading where Bryce was minding her business at work and this snobby ass prince just shows up and basically says, "Ha, you're mine, I own you," and Bryce is like, "Oh, really? Get the fuck out before I call security. You don't own shit. I don't know who you think you are, but you don't own me." Her dad knew how to pick 'em, that's for sure. I'd never understood that. Like, oh, let's force people to marry to keep the bloodlines pure. Like, you don't know, what the fuck? What, are you gonna turn incest and start screwing each other? 'Cause your bloodlines are that pure? Like, shush. Like, shush. Don't do that. It's just weird to me. And I think that her father mainly did it out of jealousy. Because he didn't give a damn about her up until she became more powerful than him with what happened in the second book. And now he's like, oh, how can I sabotage this relationship that she genuinely cares about? Because I'm a power hungry prick that can't stand that anybody's more powerful than I am. Like, I don't like her dad, and I don't like the guy he's trying to set her up with. And I really hope that the book doesn't stray this way. But the reason I brought up the whole incest claim is because the snobby little prince brought up the fact that Run Bryce's brother is always there when Bryce needs him, and that the fact that he might be jealous that she turned out to be the one with these starburn powers and not him, who he thought he was the chosen one, and how they could just intermingle to make their bloodline even more powerful because he does have abilities over shadows and the ability to call a special sword where Bryce has the starburn power fully. So if they intermingled, their children would be yada yada yada. Better, stronger, whatever, more pure, however that works. So there's like this weird, like, now it's in the back of my mind that I really hope they don't go that way, because that's just goo. But they might. I hope they don't. I would rather see her with Hunt than with anybody else. If it comes down to it being run, I'd rather see Bryce be single. There's a lot going on in this book, if you couldn't tell. There's a lot going on in this book. And there's also another potential love interest sneaking around in the back. Well, there's two more. There's Ian, who is the younger brother of one of Danica's packmates, who had a crush on Bryce before he was killed, and had just gotten Bryce to agree to going on a date with him before the whole murder happened. So Ian is back in the picture, having forgave Bryce for, well, to be fair, I hear romance is complicated. This takes romance being complicated to a whole nother level. They're fighting angels, they're finding rebels, they're there might be an incest plot with her brother. There's a whole nother dude in the background, and then hunting her, and the whole mystery of what's going on with her dead best friend who knows way too much for one person. Like, there's a lot going on. Complicated is an understatement there, Fury Hound. Also, someone in this book is named Fury. And every time I read her name, I just picture your profile picture as Fury's face. But it's a lot. So Ian is the younger brother of the dude that previously died after almost getting a date with Bryce. So you have him, Hunt, her brother, hopefully not going there, and oh yeah, I did, and another like mermaid dude in Thorin. I don't fantasy names, dude. Leave me alone. I'm trying my best. But there's like four potential love interests for Bryce on top of everything else she's got going on. I mean, there's a reason this book is thick. This book is thick. But, like, goodness. She got the werewolf, the angel, the shadow man, the. What else? Werewolf, shadow, angel, and a mermaid. And a merman. She got a lot of things going on. And then she's got Prince Asshole in the background who's Fae. But he thinks he owns her, so I'd sooner see him unconscious in a ditch than together with her. It's like, sorry, we're human beings, we're not objects. Back off. I really hope that either she kicks his ass or Hunt gets a hold of him and just unleashes the Umber Mortis on him. Because he has the ability to do that. But he's a crown prince, so would Hunt risk everything again just to put this bastard in his place? Probably with how he feels about Bryce, but probably not because after 2 to 3,000 years of being tortured as a slave, probably wouldn't want to risk it again. Like, he already doesn't want to go against the angels to find this, like, Thunderbird twins or whatever they are. So, probably not, but I want to see the bastard prince stumped into the mud because don't come in there acting all high and mighty. You're a prince. That doesn't entitle you to own anyone. Honestly, the title of queens, kings, princes are kind of bullshit in my opinion, because they're titles that humans gave other humans, and titles that humans gave themselves. Like, you erase that title and you're no different from all of us, so get off your high horse before someone knocks you off it. You know what I mean? Shut up. Just shut up. We don't need your smart ass. You don't own anybody. The folly of leadership is forgetting that the situation is that the station is granted, not inherited. Well, that's not necessarily true because in this they're kings and queens, so they do inherit their status. Like, that's the whole reason Bryce's father wants her to get with this stupid C name of a prince, Cassius, something similar to that. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it starts with a C. And that's the whole reason they want to marry, because he's a high-standing fae in another part of the world, and she's the Starborn princess that is basically a human flashlight, or a Fae flashlight, I guess. So in this situation, the power and the status is very much inherited. But like I said, it's a title you could take away like that, and it's nothing a bullet wouldn't stop. Like you bleed as easy as the rest of us, even as an immortal. That's a little different. They are raised from the station, trained to act like a leader, but they are still at the mercy of the people they rule. I mean, I guess so. You could stage a coup, which was where the whole rebellions came from. There were rebellions, that's the whole reason Hunt became a slave, because he joined the side of the rebels and tried to fight against all of the kings and queens and angels, because he didn't like how they treated both humans and lesser fae like they were dirt and like they didn't matter at all. So they were like, I'm just gonna rebel and fight back against this. And then he became a slave for like 2,000 years because of it. But hey, I mean, him becoming a slave led him to meet Bryce, who then freed him. So, and bright side. But like, to say Hunt went through it is an understatement, because he basically became tortured for thousands of years and then was like, okay, torturing has lost its effect, so you're gonna become my weapon, basically, and you're gonna become my hitman, and every time I tell you to, you're gonna go and kill whoever I tell you to, whenever I tell you to, in whatever way I tell you to do so. It's gonna be a death for a death. You and your, like, battalion killed so many angels, so you're gonna repay me by killing all these different targets until you've met every death you did caused with every death I tell you to do. Which that logic is flawed, because you're basically telling someone that killed so many of your people to go and kill more to absolve him of the deaths that he already committed. So, not my logic, I didn't come up with it, but seems like a flaw in the plan there, if you ask me. Like, hold on, shouldn't you make him save lives, not take more? But in the angel's own words, you're gonna give me a death for a death instead of a life for a life. But he wasn't the smartest angel anyway, and now he's dead. And guess what killed him? A half-human piece of trash, as he would say. So I guess he got his, didn't he? He literally got a bullet to the head, and it was an anti-angel bullet, so. But, so now we just contend with Mr. Prince and finding the human with Fey abilities, while trying to avoid the angels so their families don't get killed and Hunt doesn't get turned back into a slave. It's a mess. There's a lot going on. It's a mess. gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. If you've ever seen Pretty Little Liars and you know about Allison De Laurentiis, Danica is very much the Allison De Laurentiis of this story. Like, it feels very Pretty Little Liars with, okay, here's this girl that had history in this town, in this city, and her group of friends, even though they knew her well, apparently didn't know her at all because she has all these secret moving parts in the background that the main characters have to uncover to be able to move on with their lives and figure out their situations. That is very much how Danica feels. She's the dead girl from the city who's been there her entire life, and her group of friends thought they knew her, but as a consequence of their death, all of this stuff starts coming out, and they realize that they never knew her at all, period. She has all these secret moving parts going on in the background that is driving both book one and this book, and it could get all of them killed. Like, sure, Allison never ended up, well, that's up in the air, but Allison never intended to get anybody killed, and neither did Danica. Like, excuse me. This is very relaxing live streams. I like doing these, but it's very much Allison from Pretty Little Liars coded in the fact that the long-lived town girl dies, and after her death, her friends start to realize she might been in more shit than we thought she was. And turns out we didn't know her at all, because now we're left to pick up the consequences of where she left off. So, if you like Pretty Little Liars, this series might just be for you. Because it is kind of a mystery of why Danica was killed and what she was doing to kind of sway the attention of the people that wanted her dead in the first place, and her friends being left to pick up the pieces after she was in fact killed. So, we'll see. But it's getting juicy. His name is Cormac. The prince's name that I want to see keep in a ditch is named Cormac. I knew he was going to come back eventually. I knew it was something to see. And if the four guys I didn't mention before were bad enough, she also has a demon prince popping up out of nowhere as a cat. So, well, supposedly she was so lonely at 13 that she accidentally caught the attention of one of the demon princes somehow. Also, Sarah J. Maas for some reason spells hell with one L instead of two. Kind of weird, but it's not a typo because she's done it consistently throughout book one and book two. Like, she never spells it with two X. I've never seen that spelling before, and it kind of messes with me for a second, because I'm like, did she mean to say it with one L? Did she not? But yeah, Bryce also has one of the princes of Feltor popping up out of nowhere as a cat, because she caught his attention at 13, and then asked for his help in book one, after that. So, there's another one. She's just getting... Next, she needs a human love interest. Where's her human love interest? She's got like a whole harem of guys going on here. I said she also has a demon prince popping up. So on top of the four guys she already has, she's got a demon prince popping up in her life as a cat. And the only reason he pops up in her life is because when she was 13 and all sad and lonely, she accidentally caught the attention of the prince, which for whatever reason happened to be walking in their world and not in hell where he should have been. Also, for some reason, speaking of hell, Sarah J. Maas spells hell with one L, and at first I thought it was a typo, but she never spells it right. It's with one L consistently throughout book one and so far through this book. So, I don't know. I've never seen it spelled like that, but it must mean something because she spells it like that through 976 pages, counting the first book and what I've read of this book. Oh, so she's an edgelord, likely psycho, a creep, awkward guy, and a dead guy. Who's who in this scenario? The edgelord's the angel. The creep is the prince. The awkward guy is probably the wolf. And the dead guy is the prince of hell. You're forgetting the mermaid. You're forgetting the merman. Not mermaid, merman. Also, hell is Norse. It's a realm of Hela. Helia? Hela? Helia. The goddess of the underworld. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, there's gotta be a reason she's spelling it with one L instead of two. We're not talking about the biblical hell, we're talking about the mythological hell. Got it. But, yeah. So she's literally got a harem of guys that she could be with, one of which grossly includes her brother. But, yeah, she's got the angel, the werewolf, the fae, the merman, and now a prince of hell. She's just missing human. She's just missing human. Who's her human love interest gonna be? Like, we don't have enough of them. Who's the human? Bring on the human. You can't say Bryce is racist to humans because she is half human. She's a half breed. Even though she's Now the most powerful fae in existence, hardy har har. Ugh. Like the gaggle of guys we could go without. Why was that such a weird sentence to say? The gaggle of guys we could go without. That rolled weird. Anyway, it's starting to feel like a harem anime. Like, oh, here's this one plain girl. Well, in this, she's a party girl, not necessarily a plain girl, but still. With everything else going on, why do we need five guys? Why do we need five guys with everything else going on? The dead best friend who keeps dragging up secrets left and right. The angels looming over her and keeping an eye on her under threat that her entire family will be killed if she does not obey. The tracking down and finding of this human with Fey abilities called a Thunderbird, who is at risk of being killed because all the other Thunderbirds were wiped from existence because they were humans with power. Just, we have. Ha ha ha, funny. Maybe that's the author's favorite restaurant. What, Five Guys? I don't think that's the way she meant the Five Guys. I don't think that she pictured the restaurant when she noted the Five Guys. But we'll see. Well, we will see. But I really hope that the cocky prince bites it. At least gets punched hard. Like, ugh. Interrupting me there. Sorry if you're reading your own thing. But I am so sick of seeing the word, how do you say it? Preternatural? Preternatural. She says that fucking word throughout these entire books. It's like, we get it, they don't have natural strength. We know they are supernatural. We know they are fae. They have abilities that humans don't have. Stop. Every time a character does something, stop saying they did it with preternatural grace. They did it with preternatural strength. They did it with preternatural speed. We get it! Shut up with the preternatural. I'm tired of seeing that word. Just stop. Stop with preternatural. It's annoying. Like, we understand that there's supernatural beings. We get it. Stop pointing it out every time we do something. Come up with a different objective. Adjective. Please stop using preternatural. Anything but preternatural. That's like the only thing she's used to describe their movements. These entire books. And it's frequent. I think it's no more preternatural. It's banned from the book. Hunt's busted. Hunt's busted. The demon done told on him to Bryce. He was part of the rebel group. He was working with hell, apparently. I think that's what the demon was getting at. And Cormac showed up out of the blue. So, how? I don't know. Cormac Silver Bow. Silver Bow. Even Bryce is like, you know what? This is a little bit on the nose. This is a little bit cliche. And I'm like, gee, you don't say. When even the characters are saying that this story is getting cliche, you know it's not just people trying to hate on the book. Like, even the characters are out here calling the story out. She literally said, oh, so now I'm all of a sudden supposed to be. Don't forget to stretch your imagination. It's looking a little tired. What do you mean? You mean the story being cliche? But yeah, even the characters are out here calling this story cliche. She's like, oh, so not only do I have these insanely big powers, but they're more insane and big than I originally thought, says the demon. Says the demon. And Bryce is like, yeah, what a fucking cliche. And I'm like, I said that when you first got your powers. I said that when you first got them. Like, totally somewhat looked down upon girl suddenly gets all these powers. And not only does she suddenly get all these powers, but she has a group of guys ready to screw her at any turn. Although for some reason her and Hunt are waiting. No hate to waiting for sex. Like, I want to wait till marriage for sex. But, like, it just seems like an excuse. Uh, Everything in this book is chaotic. There are so many characters at play. And now Prince of Hell and Snobby Prince showed up when they were trying to figure out what to do. And now it's looking like Bryce has the option to team up with the Demon Prince with the powers of Hell at her side to stop the Atari? The angels. And it's like, hmm, huh. I wouldn't trust a demon farther than I could throw them. And considering how heavy a lot of demons are, it's probably not fun. Like, the last thing you want to do is trust a demon. I'm not saying. But she is. There are so many layers to this story, it's insane. It's insane. Like, it being a murder mystery was fine and fun, and now you got all this, like, interwoven situations and multiple threats from each side, and now this demon prince is like, hey, yo, team up with me. And oh yeah, your best friend not only knew about your powers the entire time because she apparently has some gift to super sense other fae and their bloodline, but she also knew for years that you and the prince were related. Not the Prince of Hell, but Rin, the Prince of the Fae, were related. And she just never told you she knew, because she never told you anything, ever. And now you're left with all this shit all scattered about, all of which Danica knew that you have to then piece together because she went and died because of an angel. An angel killed her and left you to pick up all the pieces, and then tried to kill you, but bit the dust in trying to do so. Kind of reminds me of Hunter the Parroting Chapter 5, but worse. Well, that was mainly all about werewolves. Or do you mean like the murder mystery side of things? I often sit here and I'm like, was I actually paying attention to what I'm reading? And then I start talking about what I read, and I'm like, yo, I went on way too long. I clearly was paying attention, even though part of me thought I wasn't, because I just prattled on for an hour about what I just read. Like, so clearly I was paying attention. But it's like, what the heck are we doing? There is so much going on. Like, I want to know. I want to know. And I really hope. I hope the tacked on fourth book gets canceled because this was meant to be a trilogy. Sarah J. Maas herself said this was a trilogy. But there may be a fourth one coming on down the line. Like, don't do that. Murder mystery, the knowledgeable one that won't say shit and dies. The other knowledgeable ones don't want to say shit, etc. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I was saying earlier that it felt very Pretty Little Liars-esque. Like Danica is like the Allison of this story. Like city girl with a group of friends dies, and through her death and through looking into things because of an adversary, the friends find out that they knew nothing about Allison, or in turn, they find out they knew nothing about Danica, and that she had her hands in way more pies than anybody ever thought possible for her. But like, it's insane. It's insane. It's ultimately probably going to come down to a war between angels and demons, but like, there's a lot. There's a lot. It's fun. The thing I like most about Sarah J. Maas's books are the characters. She is very good at characters. I especially liked Ray Sand in A Court of Thorns and Roses. Tamerlane was a fucking ass hat and a half. Tamerlane was an asshole, like beyond a measure, and he only got worse. Like there was a couple of things Tamerlane did where I'm like, did you do that just for yourself, or trying to be a better person, or trying to make the characters think you're better? But like, far be it from me to root for the guy that wields shadows. Also, why do so many guys in these stories all wield shadows? It's like all the authors of all these different books got together and was like, yo, what do we want the main love interest to do? Wield shadows? You got it. Wield lightning? Cool. Like, can we? Like I said it before, but not every love interest has to be a 6 foot bodybuilding biker dude wears black all the time and is like devil may care, don't give a fuck about nothing but the girl in his life. Like, not every love interest has to be like that. Let's widen the pond a bit, because there are so many different people, and so many different people have so many different types. So can we widen the field? Like for me personally, I was never an Edward kind of girl. I was a Jacob kind of girl. Uh, for looks, not actions. Jacob's character got wholly assassinated for me after the whole imprinting on an infant situation. Honestly, that's where I put the books down multiple times. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm done. I don't care what supernatural jargon you use to explain this. It's not okay. It's not okay. Nope. No, 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 no. Nope, nope. But yeah, I don't. This story is wild. And like I said, I like Sarah J. Maas's characters. Even the ones you're meant to hate are done well. Like they're not cartoonishly jerky. They're like balanced well, I think. And the ones you're meant to like, you have every reason in the world to like them, even though they are capable of deplorable things. Like Hunt, for example, like I said, he killed like 2,000 angels and others, and then was forced to kill any target he was told to. So it's not like he's a spotless lamb. He's done shit. He's done bad shit. And Bryce was your stereotypical like alcoholic party girl who did any drug under the sun, and until Danica died, and was like, nah, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop because I was high off my ass when Danica died, and if I'd have been more alert, I could have done something to prevent this, and so I'm just going cold turkey off the stuff, both the drinks and the drugs. So it's a fun time. It's a fun time. It's just a daunting book. Like, I'm more of a person that likes the 3 to 500 page range of books. Getting into 800 is about my limit, and going past that, I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I tried to read a Stephen King book one time, and I kid you not, it was 1,000 pages. And a friend of mine is really, really into Brandon Sanderson, and he's trying to convince me to read him. And I don't know how I came across it. It was something I was watching on YouTube. It wasn't related to Brandon Sanderson's books at all, but Brandon Sanderson got brought up because um, something about page count or not needing so many books to tell a story, which I was just talking about with hoping that this series stays a trilogy. No need to tack on a fourth book when you clearly already had plans for the third book to be the final book in this series. But I digress. But she brought up something about page count, and it turns out one of the like one of the books in what blah, 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 in Brandon Sanderson's like newest series is 1,400 pages. And I'm like, what? Okay, no thank you. I pass. I pass. I pass. I'm not doing it. Like, oof, that just seems way too daunting for me. Read in chunks like you're reading multiple books in the series. I, Either way, you're still reading an 800-page book. Or do you mean like, say right now I'm 180 pages in? Would that be my chunk, or would I read to page 200, call that my chunk, take a break for a bit, and then read to page 400 or 500, and that's my chunk, stop for a bit, and then read the rest? Is that what you mean? Why do you keep flashing? What is up with that? Stop making the flashy, OBS. What the hell are we doing? Follow your OCD if it demands you read it an even number of pages. I do not have OCD. At least not that I've been diagnosed with. Leave me alone. Although my own grandma did call me a neat freak. And she's one of the cleanest people I know. So, she didn't say it in a mean way. My grandma never talks to me in a mean way. But my great aunt and my great uncle were up from their state and visiting, and we had had dinner. And right after dinner, I just started putting stuff away. Like nobody said anything. Um, we had just finished dessert, so nobody was even moving from the table yet, and I was already putting stuff away. And my great uncle goes, "Wow, you're on top of things, aren't you?" And Grandma goes, "Yeah, she's a bit of a neat freak. She doesn't like it when stuff's everywhere." And I was like, "Not a neat freak. It's too much stuff everywhere gets overwhelming." But yeah, which I was still getting used to my new desk. Like I said, my setup looks a little bit different because I got a new desk. Well, not really a new desk. It's my mom's desk, but she gave it to me. And so her and I worked together to rearrange my room. For the most part, the bit behind me where my bed is the same because it was changed around. Like that bit where that end table it was where it's originally sitting, but we did put it over there where my bookshelf was sitting because everything got moved over because the entertainment system that I had my PC sitting on is now no longer here. It went to the dump because I had barely anything in it and it wasn't holding books anymore. And I took my old keyboard holder drawer thing. I could show you. Come here. Come hither. Come hither. I'm not pushing any buttons. Okay. Can you see it? No, that's my leg. That board sticking out of the corner right there is an old keyboard holder that came off my old desk that I just happened to keep. I've been using it as like a painter stand for the longest time, but now I have an actual easel to set my canvases on, so I don't really need it for that anymore. And I was like, well, I kind of need that entertainment system because that's what my PC sits on. And then I was like, well, no, I don't, because I have that keyboard thing and it looks like the exact right size for my PC to be on. I did flip it over to the bottom side, so there's no paint on it or anything. But with that piece, with my PC straight against my big desk and that entertainment system out of there, it opened all this up over here. My bow over there. But yeah, because this bookshelf used to be closer to the doorway over there, and my calendar that you can see peeking around it used to be behind me on where am I? Where that evolution painting is. So yeah, my big ass forehead. Hi. But it's fun. I wasn't sure if I liked it at first, but yeah, that was where that was under the calendar where it is now, and I was like, that looks dumb because we had moved that table under where the calendar is now and had moved the bed up against the wall, and the bookshelf was flat against the back of the bed, and I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And then in the middle of the night, since I sleep at that end of the bed, I was like, I can't find my glasses. I can't find my light. I can't find my phone. Like, I gotta flip all the way over just to access my light because I need a drink. And it just looked dumb. It looked like all my room got squished into one side. So it was like at 4 in the morning, I was up fixing it because I couldn't sleep again. But yeah, room got a little rearranged, and I like it now. But at first, I was like, I hate it. I hate it. my main issue with how my room was originally rearranged was this right here was where my PC sits, because that's like, there's the door, there's the PC, here's the desk. Hi. But so it's like someone could come in here and go bam right into the PC. Or like say I'm bringing my drink or my meal over to the desk to eat or drink and spill something and then all over PC. But because accidents happen. But yeah, that was my main worry originally. But so far it's okay. We'll see. Stay. I know, I'm moving you. Can you stay now? You're good. Sorry, he's yelling at the camera. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you guys enjoy whatever you're reading. If you are reading something, uh, this video will stay up. So if you are reading something, tell me what you're reading in the comments, and if you would recommend it or not. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. I got a burp. Excuse me. Where's my mouse? Okay. Bye, guys.